Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are having a good evening. As is the norm, we will give 30 seconds or so for people to get logged in, but I want to thank you guys for joining me this evening. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to tonight's training. My name is Brenton Harrison with Escape Student Loan Debt. We are an online education company that offers trainings that offer step-by-step debt reduction, debt elimination techniques for federal and private student loan borrowers who have student loan balances or payments that have become a major area in some area of their finances. That could be their relationships, it could be their dreams of home ownership, business ownership, whatever it is that they're struggling with as it relates to their student loans. We offer trainings that meet those needs. And in tonight's video, I want to tell you a brief story about one of our students named Shalita. And Shalita was dealing with something that is very common amongst the people that we deal with in our class. Student loans that they were ignoring because of what it reminded them of. And I'll give you a little bit of background. Shalita is an engineer by trade, but not an engineer out of passion. And what I mean by that is for a number of years after her undergrad degree, she was working in engineering jobs, and she got that major just because it sounded like the good thing to do. And in those jobs, it was just one of those things where it's like, I work here, but there's nothing that I love about this place. And as is the case with many people, there was the assumption that I don't like this job because I'm not earning enough in this job, or I haven't been promoted enough within this profession. And as long as I keep progressing, eventually I'll get to that place where I like what I do. And this was definitely what Shalita was going through. She left her undergrad with about $25,000 in federal student loan debt. And eventually she made the decision based on talking to people at her job, based on talking to people who she graduated with, that she was going to go back and get an advanced degree in that field. So she decided to do that. She went and got an advanced degree. She capped out on the amount that she planned to spend in terms of federal student loans. So she borrowed private student loans in addition to the federal student loan that she already had. It was a 3-year program, and what she started to realize is I'm doing this program while I'm also working my day job. And I can't keep up with the tasks at school because I have a day job, and I can't keep up with the tasks at my day job because I'm doing school in the evenings. And unfortunately, she was not enjoying the process with either of them. And she started to realize that this may not just be about what she was making. It may not just be about the type of job she had. It may be that she just didn't have a passion for engineering. So she decided in 2 years into a 3-year program, she was going to withdraw from school. Thankfully, I would much rather her know earlier than possible, hey, this is not the place for me, I need to leave. But unfortunately, at that time, she had taken out an additional $50,000 in federal and private student loan debt. So now she's no longer working in engineering. She realizes it's not where she wants to be, but she still has now $75,000 of federal and private student loan debt. And again, she starts ignoring it. She pays the absolute minimum that she has to pay because all her student loans do is remind her of that bad decision, that bad career choice that she made. So it's not something that she wants to give her attention to. Well, unfortunately, Shalita's husband also has federal and private student loans. And because this is a point of contention, neither of them talk with each other about the other's student loans. Shalita keeps her student loans to herself. Her husband keeps his student loans to himself. They had no unifying strategy. And as we covered in previous videos, you want to make sure that you know what's in front of you, that you know all of your options, because with that knowledge comes power. So when we got Shalita in front of us, we did a few things for her. The first is we attacked the private student loans. When compared to federal student loans, private student loans typically have less options in terms of how you can legally manipulate your payment. But one of the things that you can do with private student loans is there are ways in a step-by-step methodical process to check the interest rates that you could get on private student loans if you refinanced as frequently as you want to. You can check the rates every single month. You can see what you might get with various lenders, all without negatively impacting your credit, if only you know the steps in that process. So that's what we did. We took her through that step-by-step process, and we checked the rate that she would get if she refinanced her private loans with 6 different lenders. And after finding the rates at those 6 different lenders, we refinanced all of her different private loans into one private loan that had a lower interest rate than all of those loans and had a definitive payoff date. In that process, we saved her money on her private student loan payment, and we established that definitive payoff date, which she had with her other loans at 4 or 5 different places. One of these loans was going to be paid off in 10 years, one in 15 years. Now she's saving money and she knows exactly when she'll be out of private student loan debt. Then we attack the federal debt. And when you are married and you have federal student loans, especially if you're on the type of payment plan like we've discussed, an income-driven payment plan, what your spouse is doing with their loans is extremely important, because not only does their payment potentially impact yours, but also the way that you file your taxes when you're married with federal student loans can have a great impact on your repayment plan as well. And what we realized in this process was that they had a situation where they were paying more in taxes and more in their student loans than they had to, because they were on the wrong payment plan and they had the wrong tax filing status. We've also talked about financials don't happen in a vacuum. Student loans impact your credit, which impact your investments, which impact the rest of your finances as well. In this scenario, Shalita and her husband's tax filing status was inappropriate based on the repayment plan that they had with their federal loans. We made those changes, and as a result of them, not only did we shave 5 years off of the payment plan that they had in terms of when their loans would be forgiven, but we also saved them over $300 a month in federal student loan payments on top of the money we had already saved her with her private student loan payments. None of these items were revolutionary. None of them involved loopholes. It was all just putting everything in front of us, having the necessary knowledge to know how to utilize those tools in a way that benefited Shalita and her husband as it pertained to not just her student debt, but also how her student debt impacted the rest of her finances. I hope you enjoyed this training. Once again, my name is Brenton Harrison. And if you find yourself in this situation, if you are an established professional whose student loan payment or balance has become a major barrier in some impact of your life, and you want that step-by-step process that we tell you as a participant in our course will help you reduce, restructure, refinance, even eliminate your federal and private student loans, I invite you to check the link at the bottom of this video and at the end of this video so we can start helping you. I'll see you soon.